Hello, so today we are cooking chicken goujons and coleslaw. Before you start cooking, you always have to make sure yet again that your hair is tied up, you washed your hands thoroughly, and you're wearing protective apron. You're going to need to follow a recipe card every time you come to the classroom, something like that, which will be on your desk. Now on this recipe sheet, it will tell you what we're cooking, how much of things we need, and what equipment, and then step by step. So we already have our equipment laid out, which we need the jug, we've got our flour, breadcrumb, our egg, our chicken, and our equipment, which is our tray and non-stick sheet for the oven. Now we know that if we are cooking any raw meat, we need to be using red chopping board, okay, so we don't cross-contaminate. So first of all, we need to preheat the oven, which I've done already, okay. Next step would be we need to, I would say, beat the egg first, so it's nice and ready before we start slicing a chicken. So what you need to do, you just crack the egg like so. Use a whisk, and then you give it a good old whisk to a nice smooth consistency. Like so, so it's going to be all combined together. Next thing you need to do is chop your chicken into slices. So to have chicken nuggets, I would say we're going to divide the chicken in half, making sure yet again that you are using from your knife skill lesson, you're still using a claw grip or bridge hold. So we separate the chicken into sort of nice thicker chunks, as evenly as we can. It's not going to be exactly the same as, you know, chicken breasts are different size and shape, all for sure. Okay, so we have divided our chicken into nice, evenly sort of sized pieces. So what we need to do with the chicken, you're going to need to do this dip the chicken into form a nice coating. So first of all, you're going to dip your chicken into a flour, like so. Then you're going to coat it in the egg, and for that I'll normally use a fork, I don't get messy. And then you will dip the chicken into a breadcrumb, like so. And then you place it on your tray. And then you're going to repeat yourself through the process. And as you see, it's quite messy. It's quite a lot of fun. So this is quite nice and easy to make as well. So you can all have a go at this at home. You can either buy your breadcrumb in a shop, or you can make your own breadcrumb. You just need to mix your old bread, which gone really nice and hard, not moldy. Or did I just do this step completely wrong way around? Apologies for that. Me trying to get ahead of myself here. Okay, so make sure you've got a nice dry bread, and you can actually mix it into your own breadcrumb. You don't have to have shop bought breadcrumb at all. I've done that again. Here we go. So we are in our last stages. Once you've used the breadcrumb and the flour, you know, don't put it back inside your container. As you see, we already had our raw chicken in there. Okay, so it's not going to be that hygienic, so you have to make sure then you sort of dispose of it. But try to use as much as you can of it, okay, but don't return it back into your cupboards. This is not going to be very safe. Okay. So So there we go, our last chicken nugget. Okay, so I would quickly rinse my hands and wash them, as I've got it full of breadcrumbs. Okay, now you're going to use your oven gloves, and normally with the help of a friend, one of them will open your oven and the other one will place it inside. You place it in. And then we'll let it cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, so while our chicken nuggets are cooking in the oven, it's time to make the coleslaw. Yet again, as we said earlier, we get our equipment ready, which is out here all nicely laid out for us. Okay, make sure that all your vegetables and fruit are washed thoroughly. Okay, so there's no contamination at all. And making sure that we have our white chopping board, because we know that's for fruit and vegetables and cooked products, okay, because we know that the red is only for raw meat. So we start off all first with really slicing white cabbage. So what we need to do, we need to shred it first. So you making sure that you're going to use your claw grip, as we learned earlier, like a bird of prey, just claw. You will claw your cabbage, form a little claw like so. So when the knife starts sliding across, it can only touch your knuckles, but it will not chop your digits at the bottom. So you will hold it really with a nice claw and start slicing it really thinly. So it's basically shredding it across all of the layers, like so. So as you see, it's already shredding for you. Make sure it's quite thin. Okay, you don't want to have a huge pieces of cabbage in your coleslaw. So you can sometimes make it nice and straight as well. By sliding around it, that's it. About enough for our coleslaw. So that's our cabbage jam. Okay, we can pop that in our bowl for now. So as you see, we shredded it into tiny pieces. Okay, there we go. So next what we have to do is grate a carrot and an apple. So yet again, like we learned at our knife skills, making sure when you are peeling apples or carrots, keep the peeler away from you, okay, because if you do towards you, sometimes you can catch your wrist and actually hurt yourself there. So always away from you, making sure your fingers are away as well from the peeler. You're going to need to move it around, like so. I'm just going to do the edges, and as we are grating it, we really don't need to be separating the apple at all. So then you will get your grater. The best thing is probably do it on the larger side, okay, and then you just will grate your apple. Following the recipe, so make sure you use the right amount, like so. Yet again, for safety, when you're even holding your apple, these are super sharp, okay, so make sure that your fingers are well away from that. Okay, so that's our apple grated. Okay, I'm just going to add it to our cabbage there. Next we have grating a carrot. I already peeled one, but it will be the same like last time. Okay, as you see, we'll just get a peeler and peel it nicely away from yourself, not towards yourself. Then you just have to chop the ends yet again, claw grip every time you're trying to cut something. And then you just, probably let's do that. And then you just need to repeat the step, and this time grate the carrot. Now be super careful, because your fingers will get really, really close to the edge. So make sure you don't hurt your fingers at all. If you're a bit scared to go, there was my carrot. Apologies for that. If you are a bit scared to go really, really close, okay, you can always leave a little bit of piece instead. Hurting yourself. So you can just keep breaking that. Okay, and if you are really scared to go really close, just leave that a little bit and that should be fine as well. Okay, so that's our carrot pieces and apple ready. So carrots goes in a bowl. Okay, now next thing we need to do is slice our celery. Yet again, we have to wash that. Okay, so claw grip, slice the end, it's the root bit. Okay, then I would just say, guys, I normally like to separate it in half because I like it nice and small, and then you just use your claw grip and then you just slice it, okay, making sure you're using your claw grip. You do not want your fingers anywhere near the blade. Okay, so there we've got nice small pieces of celery. Okay, so what you have to do now is you pre-weigh your sultanas. You mix sultanas in a bowl. And then you just need to add a mayonnaise. Now we said we need 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, so you can just use a normal spoon. You can also have a special measuring spoon at home. And what you need to do, guys, is just mix it all in. Okay, voila, and here you go, and we've got a coleslaw.